Hello and welcome to Sanofi's booth. Very happy to welcome you here. How are you? Are you having great energy, great vibes around? Yeah? It's a little yes, huh? I wanted to hear a little bit of your energy. How are you today? Okay. So we're here to re-energize you, to talk about Shopfloor to Smartfloor, how basically AI is augmenting production teams. So let's talk about that with our great speakers, Jakob Harttung, Head of Digital Accelerator, Manufacturing and Supply, and Michael Orlando. Welcome. And you are Michael, sorry, if we say the French way. Michael, you're Head of Manufacturing Supply, Operational Excellence Standards and Performance. That's a great lot of stuff to talk about. So let's start with you, Michael. You are Sanofi's, as I said, you are in the Operational Excellence. And I will start, with you, Jakob. Over the last few years, manufacturing and supply within Sanofi has undergone basically a major digital transformation. So today, AI seems to be taking things a step further. So what does this new chapter look like for manufacturing?
Yes, thank you, Christina. Indeed, we've been going through a massive digital transformation over the last few years. We've been modernizing our core systems, what manages our core processes. We've expanded automation and robotics on production lines in labs and warehouses. We've connected equipment to capture sensor data. We've eliminated paper, Excel, and we have built the first data foundations for AI and created the first use cases on AI around yield optimization, as Brendan said earlier today, around supply chain optimization and generation of documents using Gen AI technologies. And more recently, we have a new wave of agentic AI capabilities, so we're redesigning the workflows and knowledge work in the organization. But one thing we hadn't really talked about yet and addressed is the actual physical work of manufacturing. What happens on the shop floor right next to the production line? And the reality of a production line, the physical reality, is a bit different from what you see in IT systems. IT systems have a relatively abstract understanding of the physical reality. And manufacturing is hard. In production, things break, machines break. You need to problem solve on the spot, make split decisions. And experience matters a lot, and this is something we couldn't really address until the latest AI capabilities, and where we are now bringing digital and AI solutions to the production teams right next to the production line.
So you're actually talking about augmenting human decision-making on the shop floor. Michael, how does that transform what you call the SMS 2.0? This is actually your second generation of Sanofi's manufacturing system.
So I will try first of all to remind, to get some principle about the lean production system. So lean production system, basically, it's about one thing, to deliver on time in full, right first time the drug for the patient. Zero compromise on safety quality. So it's about developing, building processes that are robust, standardized, and to continuously improve these processes. It's also about not only the efficiency, but the culture of excellence, to problem solve at the place the issue are occurring. So at Sanofi, a decade ago, we designed our own lean production systems that we called SMS for Sanofi Manufacturing System. And over the last 3-4 years, we developed a second generation, SMS 2.0. The big difference is that SMS 2.0 is digital native. The digital solutions are directly integrated into the operating standards, the best way to operate in the factory. And now we are at a tipping point where we are transitioning from SMS 2.0 to AI-powered SMS 2.0. What does this mean? With the new digital capabilities, we are providing in real time the people on the show floor, the operators, the shift teams, with direct AI insight to support fast decision-making and to take action in order to improve the performance on the production line.
Obviously, when we hear about AI and automation, the first question one of the first questions that comes up is, will AI replace humans?
Great question. Absolutely not, of course. We are making a very conscious choice and traditional lean manufacturing style to empower the people closest to where the value is actually being created. And in manufacturing, value is created on the production line making products. So what we're doing is we're bringing that intelligence to the operators on the line and making it available for them to optimize what they're actually doing. And in many ways, this is actually not a very new idea. In many industries, and typically in semiconductor industries, high-end semiconductors, they've been putting PhDs right next to the production lines for many years, putting the highest intelligence closest to where the problems happen so you can solve them as fast as possible. And we are going to do the same. We will be bringing AI capabilities, AI PhDs, right next to the operators as companion, helping them work with the intelligence in order to solve issues as fast as possible and launch the continuous improvement in the closest possible cycle to where the value is created. And so AI is for the production team, certainly not replacing them.
So it's not removing the expertise, I understand, on the shop floor, but it's enhancing actually the expertise, let's put it that way, whenever, obviously, it's needed. This sounds very fascinating, but how does that work in practice, Michael?
So what I can tell you, over the last few months, we developed as a digital accelerator these new agentic AI capabilities. It's something very tangible, very concrete. You can see the name. We have 4 new digital agentic capabilities that we call Plasma, Pulsar, Flux, Quanti. So these are not concepts describing the energy in the universe. It's real agentic AI capabilities to support the people on the show floor and to, I will say, directly provide some insight in order to drive the best decision at the right time and to stop to spend time to investigate. Like this, immediately you can get access to the root cause in order to drive some action to impact positively your performance.
And what about, Jakob, what about the day-to-day reality of operating equipment on the line?
Yeah, let me give an example and dive right down into those last 20 meters next to the production line. And yes, we're not managing the end of the universe, but we have some real physical realities here. I'm going to talk about our agent called Plasma, which is our equipment maintenance and reliability agent. Production teams on a production line have some very daily routines of cleaning, inspection, lubrication. We do defect identification. We do what we call center lining, which is the optimal parameter setting for a production batch. And, well, troubleshooting is required once in a while. When issues happen, how do people manage today? Well, usually they'll get a call into the maintenance experts and then wait some time for it. What we're going to do now is to have this expert AI sitting right next to the operators and manage troubleshooting hand in hand with them, bringing all of the experience of previous operations into their immediate hands, bringing all the documentations, the standard operating procedures, data coming from the equipment, from sensors, all of that right next to the operator so he can make the best possible decision and in most cases be able to repair and resolve the issue autonomously and by himself. In some cases, well, it doesn't work every time, but then the agent will help him create the ideal work order, capturing all the information of the problem, sending that over to the maintenance expert. And so when the maintenance expert comes a bit later, he will find exactly all the information he needs to solve the problem quickly. And by the way, Plasma is on demo over there. You've got Thibaut standing there, who's the owner of that product. And if you go and see him afterwards, you'll see a detailed demo of how this solution works. Just one additional element. As you're seeing, we're putting AI into the loop of the troubleshooting process. And so we are capturing that contextual understanding, both of what works and what doesn't work, and getting better over time. That is the learning process of putting AI in the loop of troubleshooting and making things better for the future.
What strikes me here is that we're talking about basically decades of shop floor exercises. So, Michael, when AI starts supporting, let's say, assisting operators every day, what happens to the experience they have?
So it's something very important, and we see the AI as an opportunity to capture, the knowledge of all the people on the show floor. As you see in the illustration, the operators, they remain in control, they remain in the center to drive the decision. If I am a supervisor, you imagine my life on the production line at 3 a.m. in the morning over the weekend, and I will have some issue. And if you are manufacturing, as example, of biologics, there is no time, it's living, So I will be very happy to get my AI PhD on my back in order to help me to make a rapid diagnostic, to capture all the insight coming from the sensors that we have on the light, and also to compare to the best practices that we have, the center lining document also from the equipment. And in a few seconds, the agent will be back to me with the diagnostic of the root cause. and also the solution to mitigate the risk, to drive the improvement. So it's a revolution for me. What is important is built for the operator, but by the operator as well. So it's a way also to improve the acquisition, the capture of all this knowledge. And if, Jakob, you are a newcomer coming with me in the production line, you will be happy to accelerate your onboarding. So you can see the agent as an enabler to onboard efficiently all the newcomers, because it's a way to transmit the best knowledge from the experienced people that we have on the floor to this new population as well.
So basically, understand it's actually keeping the expertise, expanding it, and sharing it with the next generations, which is a great news. But for that to work, let's put it that way. There's a machine telling you what to do. How the people are trusting the machine, and what are the guardrails? How can we make sure basically agents are not taking the wrong decisions?
It's a great question, obviously. And as you understand, these are extremely powerful solutions, but we need to be careful. We've got different practices on that. For those who were here earlier and you saw Kauta present our overall AI strategy, you now know that we have extremely strict AI practices around ethical and fair AI, what we call our RAISE process. And we have in everything we do AI data readiness assessments, we've got observability of agents, we've got model behavior analysis, and we've got cyber protection. So we have a lot of technical aspects of making sure that these agents behave as they should. Perhaps even more importantly, and that was what Michael mentioned, we build these solutions with the shop floor, with the operators. They have the understanding of what the experience is, what the expertise is, and making sure that these agents fit within the safeguards of our actual production realities. So it's a very tight collaboration that enables us to create these capabilities in a safe way for the operators and for the production teams.
And tell me, it seems a lot of things happening. Where does all this innovation actually happening within Sanofi?
So, first of all, as you introduced me, I head the M&S, so Manufacturer and Supply Accelerator, which is a new unit we created last year. It's a sort of an internal startup in which we have very high-paced, agile iteration of new solutions. We do constant verification of user experience design, and we work very tightly with operators on the shop floor and my dear colleague here in operational excellence. So it's an internal capability that we created last year, building solutions for the shop floor with the shop floor. Today, we're about 50 people from what we created last year, still growing and building these kind of capabilities and solutions. Maybe one important element also, and back to the safeguard and security, these are internal teams. We decided to internalize the talent necessary to create these AI agents and capabilities. And so we have full control over them. We manage the safety, the design, the data reliability. We don't have external dependencies. It's our ownership, and we have that accountability behind it.
So I understand that at the end of the day, you're not using technology for the sake of technology, obviously. Michael, what business impact are you looking to achieve?
So what we have to keep in mind, we want to deliver the drugs on time, every time, all the time, and right first time. So it's very important to be able to demonstrate the impact for the benefit of the patients. So I will try to illustrate, with the four solutions that we have. Taking as example, plasma, and coming back to the booth for the demonstration, here it's about to proactively decrease the number of downtimes, the failure of the equipment, in order to predict and to drive action. So it's very concrete, for the benefit, because if you stop your line, you understand that you will significantly impact the output of the line. Back to Pulsar. Pulsar, here it's about the right first-time execution, to elevate the batch performance, to ensure that you will execute as per plan, you will maximize your yield, so the throughput of the line. So it's very concrete. Actually, we have a few hundred of users on site in the different sites across the region, in the US, in Europe. It's very concrete. It's not myself using the application for my pleasure. It's people on the show floor driving, playing with the application as part of the engagement in order to drive impact. Flux, in this case, it's about making your drug available for the patient, meaning that you will decrease the lead time to release your drugs, your batch. And it's very important, in the context of serving on time, in full your patient. And last but not least, if I take Quanta, it's about the standard work. What is very important, to maximize the output of the line is to drive in real time some dynamic capacity management of the line. And this is what we are doing.
Well, that looks very exciting. And how does that change the way you think about operational excellence at scale?
Alors, at scale is very important, Christina, because coming back to Sanofi is a big pharma company, a lot of sites that we have, all over the world. And when we mention the lean production systems, the best practices, we want to get the best network of the site. So it's very important to ensure that these practices are in place and in use wherever the site you belong. So because we embed the Sanofi manufacturing system into these new agentic AI capabilities, is a way to accelerate and to ensure that these standards are well in place in use everywhere, every time. Because the technology by alone will not make the difference. And what is important is how you use the technology for the benefit of your business as well.
So we talked about what happens today, which is already exciting, but let's look ahead. What do you believe manufacturing will look like in the future if your vision is becoming reality? What are the future plans?
So we are obviously just getting started. AI is in early days, and even more so on the manufacturing shop floor on the last 20 meters, and we clearly have fascinating times ahead. We don't know exactly what it would look like, but we do know some trends. First of all, we'll be focusing on continuously improving what we have today, together with the operators, with their feedback, and also creating more collaboration across agents in different areas. Michael presented the 4 different agents we're working on now, but they work together, actually. When I'm focusing on batch success, well, the reliability of my equipment is important, and we will start having these interactions between agents and operators. The other 3 trends that we're currently working on is, first of all, how do we get a better contextual understanding of the reality on the shop floor? And we'll be working on video, on AI world models, so we create a real physical understanding for the AI models of what is the reality on the shop floor. That's an important trend. We're also seeing that happening in robotics. A lot of things are going to happen in that area. The second is continuously adapting systems and self-learning. Today, when we build a solution, it is essentially we train the system, make it available, and we create value and performance and operations with it. But these things need to learn. And so putting self-learning into the AI agents so they actually get better over time, learn from experience, is a very important element of what we see in the future. And maybe the last element, and that is back to our production teams. Today, as we said, agents are built within the M&S Accelerator. We are a central team working with the shop floor, but we are experts. Tomorrow, these systems, these agents will be built by the operators. We'll create the capability for every operator to be an AI builder, creating agents that transmit his expertise, understands what his knowledge is, and shares that with the rest of the organization into the network within the manufacturing system, as we talked before. So fascinating times ahead, and we're only just getting started.
That looks fantastic. So in a nutshell, if you had actually to, let's say, wrap up everything, it's a combination of human expertise and also AI, making manufacturing safer, smarter, and ultimately better for the patients. Thank you very much. A great applause to you. Do we have any questions in the room? Don't hesitate to raise your hands. That's great. You have plenty of questions. Please.
How do you actually evaluate the impact of AI?
So evaluating the impact of AI, and that is really a basic element of our collaboration with the manufacturing system, is that we design for the manufacturing system. The manufacturing system has operational metrics and KPIs, and we see the changes on those KPIs. So if we take the example of plasma, we have operational KPIs, which is what we call technical downtime of an equipment, which is the moments where you have a breakdown. We will see the trend going downwards or upwards of failures, depending on how you see it. Time to restore or time between failures. And since we are designing these in a very integrated way, actually measuring the impact becomes quite simple. Part of success story.
And just maybe to complete what you mentioned, coming back to the lean production system, we have some daily routine on site in order, to report back on your performance. So it's very easy every 24 hours to see if you are operating as per plan, as per target. And we are able also to do the same, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis. So we have concrete targets, concrete data to demonstrate if we are performing well or not, and if we do see the impact of the new insight that we progressively expand to the site.
And of course, the key element is also the human feedback. When we produce a solution, when we give a recommendation or a troubleshooting, we will always have the human loop feedback. If, no, this is completely wrong, didn't work, then we have a learning process. But in the end, it's the operational performance metrics of manufacturing.
Please.
Yes, regarding the operational excellence expertise, because it is an expertise as well, what is changing with AI? Because I understood that we keep the lean, which is more the cultural element, but then we are killing the Six Sigma a bit with AI.
Alors, I will say we are enriching, we are elevating, because what is important, when you have an issue, you can't wait for a few weeks, few days, few months, to problem solve. Here with SI, there is a huge complementarity because it's real-time insight, leveraging also some lean practices in order to problem solve. So I do see much more as an opportunity, a big complementarity, because it's a question of seconds when you have to take action. Huh? You can't wait for 30 days task force to understand what is happening on the line. Huh?
Now, on the other hand, why couldn't we create a Six Sigma agent automatically doing the job? We've been thinking about it. We haven't started it yet, but it seems relatively obvious that we'll get there.
As you said, well, it's only the beginning.
Fascinating times ahead.
Fascinating. Exactly. Other questions? Actually, I do have a question. We were talking.
No. I don't like your questions.
You never know. It might be useful. We were talking about a lot of things, how it's enhancing the experience and stuff. What about the feedback of operators? Have you got any?
So I can start. So we do see, with the operator, because first of all, they are part of the design. We co-design. I represent the operation, you represent the digital, but we co-design with the operator. And why? Because the customer is the operator at the end of the day. And if I am an operator, if you will tell me you have to apply this technology, I will not like. If I am involved to co-design the technology, it's another game. So we do see some enthusiasm. And what is important, sometimes we do see also very vocal, I will say, operator to tell us it's not good. This insight I don't want. So what is important, I say, look, back to the night, back to during the weekend when you have not a lot of people, to support you on the show floor. It's very important to deliver the feedback, to tell what you think about the AI insight to the agent. And the operator tells us, I can't write an email or to write text to report back to the agent. I want a voice recording feature. And I want to ensure that he will take into account my outcome in order to iterate and to improve. So this is what we are doing. But this is why it is very, very valuable to involve at the beginning of the design the people, the customer from the shop floor to be part of this creation.
And you wanted to add something?
Maybe one additional point. I think also part of the feedback we are getting is when we are really close to the reality, it works better. We've had cases where we get the feedback, the operators say, generic recommendations are not useful. Okay, to improve my performance, I need to avoid machine breakdown. Thank you, I knew that. But when we do very specific elements, and typically we had a case recently where we were testing the plasma solution with an operator in the field, and he tried something that he'd been resolving the week before. And finding the exact same result that he had found himself that had taken him days in a few minutes.
So he's super happy. Yeah, of course.
Then everybody's on board, and when you've got the operators sharing that with the rest of the network to their peers, things change completely.
So the feedback is obviously very positive, and I like the fact that you built it with the collaboration of them. So one last probably question, a little tricky one. How do you stand in comparison to your competitors or other companies in general?
I think that's you again.
I can start and you will complete. So it's very important, to not be only focused on the internal network. So what is a must in our smart operational organization is to take a look to the outside world. So we are organizing, some benchmark with workshop, visit with our peers in the industry, not only the pharma, could be food industry. And it's a way, to put on the table what we are doing, to discuss openly in order to get some inspiration from each other. And what we have seen coming back to SMS second generation, we have quite one of the most advanced lean production system. And why? Because it's digital native with a digital enabler integrated to the operating standard with no silo. Okay? And looking at the digital accelerator, last week we had with another company some discussions. They were very impressed because this capability center is unique. Huh? You mentioned 50 people. I remember 1 year ago in June when we went to visit you, you know, you were maybe 10, 12. It's growing fast, but it's very agile. You know, in order to deliver and to drive some impact, it's something that we have to preserve, to elevate, to amplify, but it's something that we don't see, you know, everywhere in the external world.
Thank you. And I shall be humble. You say it's unique, potentially unique in manufacturing industries. We are trying to copy the best, the digital AI native companies. We're not there yet, but we're learning quickly and catching up with them and trying to apply that to the actual reality and better for patients.
As we said, a very, very exciting future is coming as well. Thank you very much. A great applause, please. Thank you. And you can, of course, have a discussion with both of you, Jakob and Michael. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christina.
We are going to continue in about an hour, but you still, in the meantime, you can obviously discover also the booth. There are plenty of things to discover. Continue also the experience with the manufacturing. You can also see how AI is helping the employees to enhance their job, to enhance their experience, and also R&D and the patient experience in focus with the tunnel. So don't hesitate to visit us, and we shall see you in about an hour for our next talk. Thank you.